Hello, I am Dr. Sumant Chatterjee, consultant cardiologist at Astu AMRI Hospital, Dhakuriya. Today we will be discussing on an important topic, that is recent advances in cardiac sciences. So this can be categorized in two spheres. Number one is procedures, gadgets, surgical field related, that is interventional cardiology. Another is cardiac medical sciences, drugs and medicines related thing. So dealing with the interventional cardiology, the first thing comes in my mind, that is RDN, that is renal denervation therapy. What is that thing? If the patient is suffering from hypertension, high blood pressure, and that is refractory to medical therapy. So we are using 3 or 4 drugs. There is specific definition of refractory hypertension, but we not able to reduce his blood pressure to the target level. So these are the candidates for RDN. What is RDN? I mean, renal vasculature has some neural linings. We have to go over there and ablate those renal neural linings, so that the feedback mechanism of renal hypertension is gone and patient's blood pressure is mitigated. And after this RDN, patient may have only 1 or 2 drug antihypertensive drugs, and his blood pressure is controlled. It is a maybe half an hour to 45 minutes job, and the procedure is. And usually this refractory hypertension occurs in diabetic patients, CKD patients, elderly male patients. So these are the patients very difficult to tackle high blood pressure, and RDN is meant for these patients. Number 2 is your TAVR. That is previously, if we were dealing with an aortic stenosis is a valvular abnormality where we cut open the chest, thorax, and do valve replacement. If there is an aortic valve disease, then we have to replace the valve by surgical means. So usually aortic valve disease is an octogenarian disease, a nonagenarian disease. If the patient is that much frail, having high comorbidities, then definitely patient lands up in soup, because this CABG, I mean open bypass surgery, is cumbersome in these kind of patients. So for them above 80 or above 85, patient is incapacitated by this severe aortic stenosis, then transcatheter valvular replacement, this aortic valve replacement through catheter, like doing an angioplasty. We have to negotiate the catheters through the femoral route, and maybe 1.5 hour will be needed to replace this aortic valve. This is called TAVR. These are recent advances. Another valvular disease is mitral regurgitation. That is, another valve is leaky, so gush of blood is coming out through this mitral valve, and ultimately patient's heart dilates and patient lands up in heart failure. It is a refractory heart failure. Whatever medicine you use, patient lands up in acute heart failure, acute and chronic heart failure. So for these patients, we usually used to do mitral valve surgery, mitral valve replacement or repair thing. But again, these are the very sick patients having high comorbidities, maybe elderly patients. So bypass surgery is kind of cumbersome in these patients. So in these patients also, we can try mitral valve repair through mitral ring. This is again a procedural approach, that is a microsurgical approach. You will just do the thing through your catheter, like doing an angioplasty, and ultimately do the mitral ring procedures here. And patient will be, this mitral regurgitation will be somewhat eliminated in these patients. Heart failure will decreases in these patients. So this is a good approach in doing procedural mitral valve repair. Next best thing we can tell of, that is improvement in your stent. So the main complication or main fear we have whenever we are dealing with an elderly population, that patient may bleed, because after stenting we used to give ecosprin, clopidogrel. These are antiplatelets, these are blood thinners. So with these mandatory medicine after angioplasty, the patients can bleed. So bleeder patients, like female patients, weight less than 60 kgs, age more than 75, CKD patients, these are the high bleeding risk patients. So in those patients, there are some special stents where we can use these antiplatelets for just 1 month or maybe 3 months. So bleeder patients, these type of improvement in stent platform and stent device is need of the hour, and it is there in our hand. Next, regarding this medical management, many newer molecules are coming. One of the thing is heart failure. So heart failure is a worsening, progressively, gradually deteriorating disease, and we don't have that much strong arsenal in heart failure. What do we have in the last 3 or 4 years is RD. One molecule is there, and it is utmost important because it can add some years to your lifespan. Number one, it can improve your pumping function. So this is discovered maybe 3 or 4 years back, and it is highly effective. Next, some anti-diabetic, and another thing is that heart failure, we have some devices. As heart failure is not that much amenable to medical treatment, we can have devices that is called triple chamber pacemaker, CRT. Whenever patients with heart failure fit some criteria, there are some fixed criteria there. If a patient fits with that, then definitely we can implant and CRT. So it has 30 to 40% chance that patient will be cured of heart failure. Next, diabetes. So diabetes is again a very devastating disorder. It is not only a hormonal disorder, it is a vascular, pan-vascular disorder. Patients usually die of stroke, of heart attack, heart failure, renal failure. So we have to choose our anti-diabetic basket so that they can be this vascular safe or vascular beneficial. They can prevent your cardiac attack, they can prevent your cerebral attack, they can prevent your renal failure. So we have some some molecules in our basket for the last 3 or 4 years. So we have to specifically use those things, those molecules as an anti-diabetic agent in your diabetic population. So this is a fantastic improvement we can have, and continuously medical science is progressing, the cardiac science is progressing to innovate these medical gadgets, procedures and drugs. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.